Hey, my name is Keelan. I'm going to tell you why change is good is the best perspective. Change is good embraces the idea of the new modern times. Learning to accept these trends is how we'll progress as people. We can't just always go back and use the traditional family structure because that's not how we function anymore. Over the last 50 to 60 years, family dynamics have become more unique every day. And we've gotten away from that family structure of just mom, dad, kids, or whatever, and dad's the breadwinner, mom's the stay at home, things of that nature. Having single minded ideals of how a family should be hinders our equality for everyone. As we keep progressing, we're finding out every day that it's multiple ways to have a functioning family. And that's better than trying to force an ideal onto everyone. That doesn't work. During the 1950s, people over the age of 60 were more likely to be in poverty than kids. Around roughly one third of that population of old people were all in poverty. In order to combat that, those older people began to work longer. And since then, that poverty has dropped down to roughly 10%. In 1939, when SNAP benefits, aka food stamps, and Social Security for elderly people, that still wasn't enough to supplement for all the money that they were missing out on. And since they were working longer, that means more injuries and accidents were prone to happen. So in 1965, Medicare was established for elderly people over the age of 65. This is a program for free health insurance, and it really benefits them because that's money that they don't have to come out of their pocket for. And as of today, 96% of the elderly are on Medicare. In chapter 13, we've seen the chart of the rise in the elderly people and the fall of children, the rate of children, that is. If we're going to be able to live longer, we should be able to have education on these benefits and programs that aid the elderly people, such as the Alzheimer's Association. Due to previous values that we lived in, women typically could not get jobs, and if they did, they would typically work the lowest paying possible jobs. This has created the gender wage gap. At a time, on average, women would make $500,000 less over a 40-year span compared to the male counterparts. In 1963, JFK signed the Equal Pay Act, which stopped discrimination of gender in the workforce. But that didn't stop the males from discriminating against women. They found loopholes, such as women getting pregnant and maternity leave, as ways to get rid of women in the workforce in general, and that kind of pushed them back even farther. But the persistence of women has shown tremendously. As we see now, we are seeing women get in office, we're seeing businesses ran by women, and things of that nature. They are getting better jobs, equaling better pay, but that gap is still there. In 1980, women were only earning 67 cents to the male's $1. Now that number is roughly about 86 to 87 cents to the male dollar, which is still not good because women should be getting paid equally as males should. In order to continue to narrow the gap, we need to put women in higher ranking jobs because it all starts from the top. In order for things to get better, we all have to accept the change. We all have to get out the narrative of it's just the man being the breadwinner, working 40 years and retiring, and women not working at all and staying at home, or if they do work, they're not getting paid as such. There's a rise in single parents, there's a rise of minorities getting education, so let's continue those trends moving forward in order to have everyone live a better lifestyle. In order to get everyone where they need to be, more programs and supplements need to be given to the people in need. This is how we stop wage gaps, discrimination, and things of that nature in the workforce.